everyone, Miss Turdick here, and this afternoon we're going to play a game called Bottle Bowling. Before you get started, you want to make sure that you have a trusted adult supervising, and your trusted adult may want to join in and play with you. You can do this game inside your home or you can do it outside. Just make sure that if you are doing it outside, you're on a flat driveway or a flat sidewalk. If you're inside your home, it'll work best if you're doing it on a non-carpeted surface, but you could try it on a carpet and see how it goes. You don't necessarily need to be in comfy clothes, but what you do need to have are a variety of different plastic bottles. So I recommend between 5 and 10. So we'll just show you the different assortment of bottles that I've collected. So as you can see, I've got bottles of different shapes, different sizes. If your bottles are all different, that's okay. If your bottles are all the same, that's okay too. Make sure that you've rinsed the bottles just in case any of the liquid does leak out as you're playing the game. Besides having the bottles of different sizes, you will need a ball to act as your bowling ball. Now I've got a couple of different examples of balls that you could use. You could use something such as this. This ball is slightly heavier. You could use a lighter weight ball like this, or for an added challenge, maybe if you're using smaller bottles or if you've just got all 500 milliliter water bottles, you could try playing with a tennis ball. You're also going to need to have an object or masking tape to mark your starting point. And if you are playing along with younger children, make sure that their starting point is closer to the bottles so the game's not as tricky for them. In order to keep score, you'll want to have a piece of paper and a pencil handy. And towards the end of the game, you can have a student in the household add up all the scores. Now, before you get started, you need to determine the value of each of your bottles. So for the sake of ease for this video, we'll just make each bottle be worth 1 point. But if you wanted to make things a little more challenging and practice a little bit more addition, you could switch up the values of those bottles. So for example, some of the bottles that you feel might be trickier to knock over, such as something like this heavier orange juice container, you could make that one be worth a little more. So just to give you an example of a way you could make this more challenging, you could have the back row worth 3, the middle row worth 2, and the bottles in the front here could be worth 1 apiece. Okay, so that way if you were knocking all of them over and got a strike, you would have 3, 6, 9 in the back, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so that's just sort of an idea what you could do if you wanted to make it a little bit more complicated to test people's addition skills. So let's get started with the game. And this is something that's fun for rainy days because you can play it inside. If it's a bright sunny day, you can take it outside if you've got that flat driveway or sidewalk. So I'm going to grab my tape to mark my starting point, and I'm going to grab this ball here. And make sure that everybody in the family who is of a certain age is starting in the same spot to make it fair. And as I said, you can have younger children start a little bit closer to the bottles just to make it easier for them. Now you may need to move some furniture as well, so I just had to angle my couch a little bit so I've got space. Now when you're bowling, what you want to make sure is that your toes are pointed towards your pins. Okay, so in this case, the plastic bottles serve as our pins, so make sure that your toes are pointed towards those pins. Now, you want to put your dominant foot forward, making sure that the toes on the dominant foot are aimed towards those pins. You want to hold the ball in your hand like so. You want to bend your knees, and then you're simply going to roll the ball. And you can see there that I knocked over 3 of my bottles. So just like regular 5-pin bowling, let's give each person 3 turns. Now, if you wanted to play 10-pin style, you could give each person 2 turns. Again, it's up to you and up to your family what you feel is best. So leave the bottles there that have been knocked over, and since we're not an actual bowling alley and we don't have a machine to pick them up for us, we'll just leave those where they are. Okay, let's try my second turn, making sure that my toes are pointed forward. Oh, so I got the big one there. Okay, my final turn, grab my ball, and we'll see how I do on this turn. Okay, so again, if I was playing with each pin worth 1 point, I would have gotten 7 for that one since I did topple over 7 of my bottles. Okay, I've got 3 remaining, but again, you can switch things up and play in a way that suits you and suits your family. So that's bottle bowling. I hope you have lots of fun with it. It's a simple game that's sure to bring a smile to your face. Take care and stay safe.